Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Our today's session is on menu engineering and costing. So in this session we will be discussing about how to plan a menu, what are the different types of menus, what are the different principles while planning a menu, what are the factors we should be considering, how to cost a menu, how to get the food cost percentage, profit margins, sale price, etc. So, as you are all aware, that menu plays a very important role for any hospitality establishment. The menu is the key advertising tool of the establishment and must be designed well. Your menu should be well designed and balanced as well in terms with nutritional values, the texture, flavor. It should be eye appealing, etc. Starting with the types of menu, there's a la carte menu, which means menu from the card. Table d'hôte means table of the host. Bistro menu. A la carte menu is the menu in which we order the food from the card, the menu, and there is no limitation. You can order whatever dish you want to order from the particular menu, and it's cooked to order. In Table de Hot menu, the menu is fixed already. It can be for three-course menu, five-course menu, seven-course menu, and so on. In this, the customer doesn't have the choice of choosing the different dishes as it's been fixed uh, before only, and the price is fixed as well. In bistro is the restaurants which serves normally informal food, and the food is not very expensive. Uh, it's not like a fine dining type of menu, and it's generally cheaper as compared to a la carte or the table de hot menu. Uh, the style of service for the menus. In a la carte, this style of menu is used in the majority of restaurants and literally translated means from the cart. It offers a large variety of dishes, usually grouped into starter, main course, and desserts. Enable the customer to order any number of courses. Offer individualized, freshly prepared, and cooked meals when ordered by the customer. Table de Hot offers a large variety of dishes, has a set number of courses. As we have spoken before, it can be three-course menu, five-course menu, or seven-course menu. Has either a limited choice or no choice within each group. Allows pre-preparation of some of the dishes and is charged at set price per person. Then we have the static menu. These menu rarely change and provide the same food every day. So, for an example, if you go in McDonald's, if you go in KFC, if you go in Domino's, normally the menu is fixed. It's the same every day. So that's called a static menu. The special menu. Special menu are designed for a particular food available for a limited time. So, for example, it can be for special occasion like for um, birthday parties, or it can be for the different festivals. The special menu is there. You might have also heard the fish of the day, the soup of the day, that also comes in the special menu. Then the cycle menus. Cycle menus are developed to be repeated at regular intervals. Uh, for an example, if you see in uh, hostels, there is a cyclic menu which has been followed. In hospitals, there's been cyclic menu which has been followed. Also, you can see the subway; they normally follow the cycle menus. Then we have the breakfast menu, lunch menu, dinner menu. In breakfast menu, normally when we go in the hotels, normally being added up in the cost most of the time, but sometimes it's been charged separately as well. So normally the type of breakfast which is served is continental breakfast and the full English breakfast. The main difference between the continental breakfast and the full English breakfast is in continental breakfast, normally they serve the cold food, which can be of fruit platters, cereals, toast, jam, beverages like orange juice, pineapple juice, etc. And there can be the meat platters, salami, pastrami, etc., which can be served in the continental breakfast. However, in full English breakfast, there is the cold items and the hot items as well. So, cold items normally includes what we've been serving in continental breakfast. However, we add the hot items like your sausages, hash brown, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms, black pudding, eggs. Eggs can be to order as well, like your fried eggs, scrambled eggs, etc. Uh, Lunch. The lunch menu is usually served between 12 to 2 p.m. If we compare the lunch menu and the dinner menu, the dishes which should be there in the lunch menu should be cooked. The cooking time should be less as compared to the dinner menu, because in lunch menu the normally people wants their food uh, which should not be taking too much time, so that they can finish their lunch and they can go back to you. Compare with the dinner menu, in dinner menu people have time to uh, sit down in the restaurant and enjoy the atmosphere, and then slowly we can serve the food according to the courses. uh, then breakfast buffet, cocktail receptions, theme buffet. uh, Varieties in theme buffet, it can be different themes or different cuisines which we can be serving in the buffets, like it can be a Thai buffet, it can be a continental buffet, it can be a French buffet, German, etc. Consideration of for dishes. The menu is key marketing device used by the restaurants. It is legal contract between the restaurant and the customers. It states what is on offer, and the client can expect that the description reflects the actual product. The legal obligations vary between countries, so ensure to check the obligations. The menu must be written with careful planning, as the chef must consider a wide range of impacts. So, what are the considerations which we should be following? Target clientele. So, we should be aware and we should have done some research before planning a menu. What is the target clientele which will be coming in our uh, restaurant? The type of enterprises. So, type of enterprises means if we have opened a very fine dining restaurant, or it's a bistro type of restaurant, if it's a formal or informal. So, in that, we have to plan a menu according to the type of enterprises. The size of establishment. So, it is very important as well while planning a menu, that what's the size of our establishment or the restaurants, how many sitting capacity do we have in our restaurant, how many covers we can do every day, how big is our kitchen, how well it's designed, etc. Equipments. Designing the menu with available equipment in mind and spread out the use across the menu. So the equipments plays a very vital role as well when we plan the menu. We should not be putting the dishes in the menu if we don't have the equipments, or if we don't have the space to keep that equipments in our kitchen. Uh, Also, it's not like for every menu which we plan every 3 months or so, we put the dishes and again we have to buy the equipments, and after 3 months we have changed the menu, and then we are not able to use that equipment because it was for the particular menu. So it's very important. We can't afford to buy every 3 months different types of equipments, as it costs money as well, and we should be looking for the space where we can keep our equipment. So it's very important that we should be looking on the equipments which is available already in our kitchen. The staff skills level. The menu which we should be planning should not be very complicated. So for that, we have to keep in mind the skills of our chefs who are working. If it's very complicated, then we won't get that quality of food at the end of the day. Also, it can take more time uh, for cooking the dishes as well. Content of the menu, how many courses, dishes, special, if the menu is balanced or no. Availability of commodities, it's very very important that when we plan the menu we should be looking after the seasonal products which are available in the market, the seasonal fishes which are available, the vegetables, the seasonal vegetables which are available, so that we can serve the quality also increase of the menu because it will be fresh. Also, the price will be less as well while purchasing the seasonal vegetables, fruits, fishes, meats, etc. Tasting. Many chefs thinks up a dish and put it on the menu without testing it before. That's very very important. Before implementing the menu, you should do the testing of all the dishes so that you can see how much time they are taking, how you gonna be doing the plating of that dish, etc. So it's very important that you test the dish before putting it on the menu. Food safety, food value, equipments, we have already spoken. Menu planning principles. When planning menu, additional consideration and knowledge must be applied to achieve success. So, what are the different menu planning principles? Origin of the dish, texture and taste, visual impact, cooking time, profit and sale mix. Origin of the dish. So the local ingredients and equipments dictate how dish should be cooked. Example: Argentinian cooking use radiation for grilling beef. Chinese cooking uses conduction with woks. So while planning a menu, we should be looking at from where the dish is being origin, the texture and the taste. What are the different cooking methods we are applying on that so that the texture and the taste will be different. Visual impact, it's very very important how the dish looks, as there is a saying, uh, we eat the food first with our eyes, then we eat with our mouth, so it should be very eye appealing. Menu planning principles, commodities, season, design. Design, it needs to be aligned to the over, overall philosophy of the establishment. Example: a classic font for traditional restaurant, or light colors and modern fonts for casual dining. It's very very important that how we design a menu, because if we see the menu and it's not very clear, then it becomes difficult to read by the customers, and then there will be a lot of questions uh, arises in the customer's mind, and then uh, we waste our time uh, if the menu is not designed properly. So it should be designed properly and it should be clear and it should be self-explanatory as well. The menu, the dishes which we mention in the menu, if it's a typical French name of the dish, there should be a English version for that dish and what are the components we should be putting in that dish, so that the customer have a clear idea what they will be ordering. Dietary needs. Also, it is very important to mention the dietary needs of the customers according to the dish. So, for example, if in the menu the dish is vegetarian, then we should put in the notes that with the star that this dish is vegetarian, or this dish has the nuts in it, or it has the flour in it, because there would be some customers who will be nut allergy, or who will have the celiac diseases, which is gluten, who eats gluten free food, and etc. How to balance a menu? The proper menu, which should be balanced, should have color combination, texture, flavor. We should use different cookery methods. For example, everything should not be just poached or boiled. Should be different. We should be using different types of cooking methods. For example, grilling, baking, steaming, roasting, stewing, braising, etc. The nutrition. It's very important that our menu should be balanced in nutrition as well. Ingredients, the name and the description of dish, which we have already spoken. Menu factors. Further factors that impinge on menu design are the design and layout of the kitchen. Is kitchen designed for good workflow? The availability of equipments, how good is your staff, what are their skills, that we have all discussed previously. Menu information as well, we have spoken about what should be there in the menu when we are designing the menu. The print should be easy to read, spelled correctly, there should not be grammatical mistakes, etc. Select the most suitable paper, artwork, and print according to underline the establishment style and the menu format. Okay, the menu information. So this, as we have discussed, on the menu card there should be certain things which should be mentioned, so that there is not many questions by the guests which are coming. So there should be a number of courses, there should be a proper description of the dish, dietary information, the origin or the cultural origin of the dish, the price, etc. Portion control. So, any establishment which we open, or any business we open, is for making the profit. In that, we should be considering how should we making the maximum margin. Portion control is very important as we speak about the menu planning. You must be able to calculate the desired weight of each portion. So normally, like for an example, for the main course, when we serve beef fillet, eye fillet, or the lamb or chicken, it should be around between 180 to 250 grams per portion. So we should be weighing that and then be serving to the customers. Uh, for an example, if we take fish, the fish portion size should be around 150 grams per portion. Suppose we are serving the soup, so then we should be measuring it with the ladle. Either we will be putting one ladle or two ladle per portion. Terms used for costing. So first we will be talking about the different terms which we be used in the business. Assets. So assets, anything owned by the business that has commercial or exchange value. So asset can be your furniture, can be your asset, uh, your property is your asset. All that things will come in the asset, whatever you have owned. Balance sheet. So a financial snapshot of the business at a particular moment in time to summarize the assets, liabilities, and equity of the business. So balance sheets reflects the losses and the profit. Break even point. a point at which revenue and total cost are equal and will yield neither profit nor loss. So, for an example, if you have opened your own business and you have spent 100,000 rupees on that, now the break even point will reach after you attain that money which you have invested in starting. So it can take 1 year, it can take 2 years or 3 years to get your investment back. And once you get that investment back, that will be your break even point. So it can be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, but the ideal break even point should be between 3 to 5 years. Budget, expectations of sales, cost, and expenses for a given period. Capital, the capital is the amount which you have invested or in the business by the stakeholders. Direct cost, the variable cost of goods or services produced and sold, also referred to as COGS. Cost of goods sold includes direct labor, material, and any direct overhead incurred in producing the goods and services. Fixed assets. Uh, so these are categorized as permanent and not intended to be turned over in normal business cycle. So fixed assets can be your buildings, your land value, your machineries, that will be your fixed assets. Fixed cost. The fixed cost is the cost which normally doesn't change. For an example, uh, you are paying the rent on your building. So it doesn't matter if you are doing a good business. Good business means if your restaurant is working very well, every day you are doing 100 covers, 200 covers, or if you suddenly go for 10 covers, it won't change. If you have to pay the rent, it will be the same. Doesn't matter if you are doing 10 covers every day or if you are doing 100 covers every day. So that's basically your fixed cost. Gross profit. The gross profit, the amount of profit available after deducting the direct cost of the material. For example, so gross profit is something, if you just remove the food cost, so the selling price minus the food cost will be your gross profit. GST, you guys are aware of GST, that's the goods and service tax. Liabilities, the liabilities are the company debts. So for example, it can be your the tax dues, the bills dues, that will be the liabilities which you have to pay. The net sales, sales achieved excluding discount and return, opposite to gross sales, while which includes all sales. Net profit, basically the net profit is the profit which uh, goes into your pocket. So that will be the profit which is coming after deducting all the expenses. So your rent, your food cost, your labor cost, your electricity bills, etc. Overheads, costs that are linked to specific areas or operations of the business, also referred to as operating costs. Operating profit, the profit left for the owners after all material costs, i.e., food and beverage and wages, have been deducted from the turnover. Profit and loss statement, that comes in the balance sheet. Return on investment, a term used to show the net income as a percentage of the initial income. Say you have spent $100,000 to set up the restaurant and makes 10,000 net profit. So you have 10% of return on investment. Variable costs, a term used for the costs that vary different directly in relation to sales volume or turnover. It means the direct cost of the product or services delivered to the customers. Now the general formula which we used for the food cost percentage is food cost divided by the sales price multiplied by 100. So then you will get your food cost percentage. Normally, the food cost percentage should be between 25 to 35% if you are doing the business well, so that you can have between 65 to 75% of profit margin. Food cost budget, so total food purchases divided by total food revenue multiplied by 100, so also you will get the food cost percentage. How to get the selling price? So the food cost divided by the target food cost percentage multiplied by 100 is equal to selling price. So suppose for example, if the portion cost is $6.45 divided by 30 multiplied by 100, then so if the food cost is $6.45, then you should be selling that dish for around $21.50, then your food cost percentage will be 30%. Menu evaluation. Also, we will be talking in depth about how to do the actual costing for the dishes. In the next session, we will be manually doing, we will be planning the menu, maybe 5 or 7 course menu, and then we will be doing the food cost. We will be doing the costing of the menu, plus we will be putting the sale price of each dish for the whole menu, so that we will be more clear about how to do the costing for the menu. Menu evaluation. Now we have discussed so far about the types of menu, principles, factors. Now in the end, how should we evaluate that if the menu which we have prepared is good or not? So self-assessment. So first, this is the first step of critical analysis. Be frank and judge the appearance, flavor, color, height, mouthfeel, and whether it portrays the spirit of establishment or food philosophy. So first, you need to do the self-assessment. If you are happy with your dish which you have created or the menu, then you can further go to the guest feedback. Simply do the rounds informally after service, so you can ask the customers if they have liked the dish or the menu. Also, you can take the feedback in the feedback form from the customers to evaluate if the menu is good or not. Panel. This can be comprised of regular customers or experts such as colleagues or friends from other establishments. Team feedback. The menu is designed by the team, most often the party chefs. The brigade can then provide feedbacks on tweaks can be applied to the dishes before the menu is public. Peer comments. These can be obtained through an after service discussion or using social media by posting photographs. Uh, so these are the different methods in which we can evaluate if our menu is uh, been good or not. So I hope guys, it would be a useful information which I have shared with you today. In the next session, as we have discussed, we will be talking about how to we will be planning actually the 5 course menu, and we will do the costing for that. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have. You can email me or WhatsApp me. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.